Have a clear plan, try to keep it simple if you are not sure if you can do it. That's the take-home message that we'll be discussing today in this freestyle episode right now. What's up YouTube, welcome back to Newpix, where we learn how to be better photographers by sharing experiences and mistakes. And that's what I want to share with you today, my mistakes. Basically yesterday I was out for a workshop at YOK, which is the Helsinki University Student Photography Club, and we were having a workshop about model shooting, fashion shooting, and in particular studio lighting setup. We started with a pretty basic one light setup studio session with one reflector. We had a guidance, a teacher which was explaining a little bit something to us, and then we had two different models in two different setups. We had pretty much the freedom of doing whatever we want. However, I ran out into a lot of troubles as I thought I was prepared to do it, but actually I didn't come out with any real good pictures, at least from the lighting setup that we were having. So basically what I wanted to achieve, and here you can see the shots that I've taken, was having something different from everything that other people were making. Basically everyone was starting by doing this kind of basic portrait shots of the model and the guy, and I was seeing that yeah, they were trying to come up with something different, but in my opinion it was not that different from what everybody else was doing. So I thought I was smart enough to actually do something different. So I started to place my model in a totally different angle compared to the key light, which was the only light that we were having, and I did the same with the model. I tried to place him in a different kind of environment and a different angle, like inside the elevator, while everyone was shooting him outside the elevator. So I was trying to achieve something different. However, I soon realized that, well, the shots were not coming out the way I wanted. For example, I was having way too much light still on the model, and I wasn't able really to control the key light and the reflected light from the reflector. And also I think I didn't place the light in the most flattering way for her face. Since she had pretty prominent cheekbones, I wasn't able to give value to those beautiful cheekbones. I just placed the light in a weird setup so that I just created some weird shadow here close to her nose. And the same was for the model. I wasn't able really to bring out all his cool facial features, like the piercings and his very kind of skinny face and with hard edges. I wasn't really able to do it because I wasn't paying attention and probably also didn't plan enough. Now it has to be said that every one of us had about 20 or 15 minutes to shoot with the model, in which they could try whatever they want. So it's pretty limited time, especially for someone that never did it. But still, I wasn't humble enough to start from the basics. Then jumping to the different problems, I can say that I wasn't right on the light positioning for the models, I wasn't right on the posing of the models, and I actually didn't have any plans for that, and that was bad. Even though I watched a lot of videos on YouTube, actually I didn't come up with any good ideas for their posing, so that's why I found myself most of the time giving them general and wrong direction. And probably what I could have tried to do is just let them come up naturally with whatever they would feel comfortable to do, and then just placing small adjustment on that. So basically getting help from the model, since I'm no expert into that. Then one very bad thing was that I totally forgot a reflector on when I was shooting out with the male model, so I wasn't able to achieve that contrast that I wanted to, because I totally placed one main light on his side and still this other side was coming up bright, and I for the whole session didn't know why it was that. I tried different settings, I tried to change my setting on the camera, and then only after, when I finished my turn, I realized that on his other side there was a huge reflector just placed on the wall that somebody left there, and I didn't take care of that. So all my shots of that guy came out pretty flat with basically no high contrast, which was the looking that I was going for. And then one thing that I realized is that it's extremely difficult to interact with models that you don't know. I was trying to be directful, very precise, but at some point I was feeling that I would sound bossy, like, hey, you do that, give me that, or give me that other kind of pose. So I started to speak quietly and gently, but still I realized that interacting with the models, like not only what you tell them, but also how you tell them, well, that's up to you, and we should learn how to do that, and I wasn't prepared for that. So that's for sure one thing that I should improve in my photography. To summarize all this video, I would say that the take-home messages that I want to give to you out of my mistakes are first, plan the poses, have some kind of checklist that you can go through with the model so that you know in advance what to suggest, and then you have kind of a schedule or a backbone of the whole shooting, and you're not going blind totally into that. Then I would find very beneficial to spend some time talking with the model beforehand. So if you can just talk for 20-25 minutes, it would help to break the ice, understand more about their personality, because if it's a model that doesn't fit into the character that you're trying to create, then you shouldn't force it. You just should embrace it and move to some other ideas. So be ready to be flexible depending on the model that you shoot with, and don't stick to your original ideas. So just try to quickly move from one situation to another according to which kind of model you are shooting, if you don't know it in advance. And then of course study the lighting setup and the place beforehand. Now if you go into the studio, just go maybe 1 hour before, 2 hours before there, and start to practice with it if you're not an expert. Or if you're shooting on location, of course, just go on the location beforehand and check around which are the cool places, the cool background that you can get, which is the light, how the light is coming on the location, which are the shadows that you can take advantage with. So just plan a little bit deeper. So just plan a little bit what you're going to do and where you're going to do it. And then as final, and I think most important image, is like, be humble. Don't be like me that want to be the guy that try to come up with a smart shot. If you don't know how to do something, just start from the basic, because if you don't have the basic in place, then you will never reach the other more fancy stuff. So next time I will start to take those classic portrait shots, which are very boring for me, but at least I will make sure that I can deal with the lighting setup, the flashes and the reflectors. Well, that's the end of this video of Freestyle episode 2, and remember to subscribe if you like what I'm doing and to receive the next videos, and please comment down into the comment section. Let us know what are your impressions, how do you approach model and fashion shooting? Do you spend time talking with the model, or do you go and plan it deeply, or you simply are more kind of a freestyle person? In the meantime, remember to shoot, learn and improve, learning by your mistakes, by my mistakes. Share with us your experiences so that we can all be better photographers by taking advantage of the learning community that we are building here on Newpix. For now it's everything, I'll see you next time and take care.